From the above four analogies, we have understood that we need to study similar cases in our day-to-day lives. The format, medium, and method might be different for every different case. Similarly, case study is important in architectural design also. We have various strategies, mediums, and format to conduct a single case study for different situations. This helps us in considering various design aspects which can either be implied in our design or we can learn from the mistakes and avoid them in our design. Now let's move on further and understand the introspection and selection process. To understand the process of case study, we will consider three examples. First, artist home, second, healthcare unit, and third, resort. All three examples are different from each other in terms of scale, complexity, context, typology, and user. These examples will help us in understanding the application of the methods in much clearer way. To understand the process, first we need to thoroughly understand to crack the keywords of the design brief. These keywords further help us in searching down the case studies which are more appropriate to our design. Design brief. It will introduce to the topic as well as the challenge and also provide with few hints to how to approach the problem. This design brief has three aspects. One is theoretical understanding, second is design, and third one is site related. Theoretical understanding is nothing but the background of the challenge and the related facts and data. Design. Design related aspects which will influence our design or a particular design which will help us to overcome the challenge. Site oriented. The site context of the site. Understanding the site and how our design will uplift the site and surroundings. Design program plus design brief is equal to quick fact check, which will lead us to keywords. What is design program? The activities in allocated spaces which are housed into the building as well as on the site. What is design brief? Of course, it will introduce to the topic as well as the challenge and also provide few hints to how to approach the problem. Now, let us understand how these two things will help us in our process of finding keywords. Whenever we read design brief and design program, always underline important statements and words which emphasizes and influences our design. What is quick fact check? Consider yourself buying an expensive laptop for your office purpose. What is the first thing you will do? You will understand your purpose and accordingly you will decide on the what configuration of system you require. Now, before going to the showroom, you will first study online. Then, with these configuration list, you will compare all the system of different brands and company and pricing. And you might even compare between different list of configuration. This list of configuration is nothing but a quick fact check. Once you know the basics of laptop, it becomes easier for you to go to the showroom and buy the laptop. Similarly, before going to an expensive restaurant with friends, you tend to check the quick facts about the restaurant on Zomato or any other online portals. Understand its pricing, menu and read on reviews. This will give you the assurance that you are taking the right decision and your money will not be wasted. Quick fact check is that list of questions which will further direct you to the keywords. Now, replacing the design brief with three aspects: theoretical design criteria and site oriented. Design program. Design living room, bedroom, bathroom, studio for painting, multi-unit space, the list of rooms. Plus, design brief. Design and theoretical understanding, design and site oriented will give us the list of keywords: typology, function, spaces and areas, scale, user, structure, timeline, climate, site, materials. You can have more list of words. It all depends upon your case study or a design brief. The words related to theoretical understanding are typology, what type of a building is being expected from your design brief. If the design project is residence, for example, is it an apartment or a penthouse or a farmhouse or a luxury villa or a row house? The purpose of these buildings is nothing but to reside, but the type and functionality differ from each other. Similarly, if it's commercial building to be designed, is it an open-air shopping arcade or an atrium mall or an enclosed flea market? The second aspect which is related to theoretical understanding is spaces or areas. What type of spaces is needed? Courtyard, atriums, double height living rooms, etc. The spaces which are add-on to enhance the overall experience. Third one is user. Understanding the end user. Who will be using it and how will they be using it? These are certain aspects which are related to theoretical understanding. Now let us understand all the words which are related to the design criteria, or the quick fact check words which are related to design criteria. Typology and spaces can also come under design criteria. Scale of studies is how big or complicated the design is going to be. Structure is something, how the structure is being designed, what type of a structural system is being applied, what are the mechanisms and structural infrastructure that is being applied into the design. Timeline, what style of an era the building is going to be. For example, is it going to have Victorian features or contemporary modern forms or going to follow classical era? The next aspect is the site-oriented aspects. Design program plus design brief, and within that the site-oriented aspects will give us a quick fact check. First is climate. The site-oriented aspects majorly influence our design. For example, let's consider the climate. For a heavy rainfall climatic zones, the design of my roof might be sloping. It might also include the rainwater harvesting details. Or, for that matter, hot and dry climate zones might have opening sizes small to allow to not to allow the heat enter the house, and lot of vegetation might also be included around the site. Shape and size of the plot. This might be a tricky to design. For example, a narrow plot might result in taking additional floors, whereas a broader plot or a larger plot might give us a spread plan. Materials. Materials locally available might again give character to your design. Now let us understand the quick fact check and what will be their keywords. Typology. A type of a building which defines function and form. Function. What function is the building going to serve? Or what is its primary use of the building? Spaces or areas. What kind of a spaces or areas are going to have? Something which is similar to design program. Scale, complexity, and how big or small or medium sized project it is. What kind of a complexities does it have? What kind of an advanced technologies is it going to have? User, the end user of the building. Structure, what type of a structure and constructional details are going to be applied into your design. Timeline, aesthetical character of the building from history to contemporary. Climate, climate of the site. Site, limitations and the strengths of the site. Materials, what type of materials to be used for construction? Are the materials really easily accessible? Can they be easily transported to the site? Or are there any particular locally available material in that particular region or area of the site? So this is a quick fact check and how, and based on these quick fact check we'll get the keywords. The next is keywords filtration. These keywords need to be filtered. To that, we need to add two more set of information, and that is its relevance factor and feasibility. What is a relevance factor? All the keywords need to be relevant to the search. Unnecessary information might confuse you and you might end up taking the wrong case study. So, is this information relevant for the search? Choose your keywords according to its relevance. Second is feasibility. We need to consider how feasibility our study is going to be. One, it has to be approachable. Like it cannot be at a place where it is not easily accessible or approachable. There has to be enough information. There has to be enough drawings. And there has to be enough multiple sources to verify that information. Once all the filtration process is done, you will end up with few keywords which will help you in your search. Let me now explain what are keywords. Keywords are nothing but the important words which help us in identifying your search, our search. The moment you read those keywords, you automatically get some hints which will give you the exact or most similar example to your design. The Google search engine works on the keywords. Search engine optimization, that is SEO. It works on the principle of identifying the keywords and based on those keywords giving you the most accurate results. These keywords define a problem and help us in narrowing down and shortlisting the case studies. Now that you have your keywords and checked feasibility, you will do two things. One, you will speak to your seniors and professors, and other, you will search on internet, look for photos and drawings and reviews on the various social media platforms and online portals like Instagram, Facebook, Behance, Pinterest, etc. You will mix and match the search techniques with different combination of keywords. So, now that you have the platform to search on Google and ask your professors, you have to analyze your search and pick examples which it resolves challenges at three different levels. One, at component level and a spatial level. That is, you have to understand how the building is designed or program their spaces. Consider the example of Villa Savoy by Le Corbusier. In this example, you will understand how the entire space is formulated or how they are interconnected. Understand the block or the building. This is what it means at component level or a spatial level. Transition spaces, interconnections, volumes, and other aspects of the spaces come under this category. Second one is at site boundary level. How building is gelled with its open spaces within the site. What are what a role does a building play in enhancing the site, or its orientation, or the landscape of its open areas have uplifted the site as well as the building. The third aspect is the overall challenge. That is how that particular site have changed the lives of the surroundings, or how has the particular site uplifted the whole town or a neighborhood. Example is Sanskar Kendra Vidyalaya. This project is designed by Yatin Pandya. This is a school for rural kids in the morning, by afternoon it becomes women's empowerment area, and during weekends it has a place for exhibits, events and other socializing activity. This project is a very good example for how one building and a site has brought the change and development to the village and neighboring districts. So this is one example that how it has one building or one site has resolved an overall challenge. As mentioned earlier, we have to consider three examples with three different complexities, user and scale. One is artist residence, healthcare clinic and resort. The first example is artist residence. We have a brief and a design program. Design the residence for an artist in the suburbs of the city, where the artist will be working in his studio and living with his wife, who is a potter, or a sculptor. Both of them lead a very sustainable life. The studio spaces need to be big along with multi-purpose hall to display their work for events and exhibitions. The size is odd-shaped size. Design program. This is the list of basic requirements: living room, bedrooms, bathrooms, studio for painting and multi-unit space. After applying the formula of design brief plus design program, we have our quick fact check list, which will give us our keywords. Typology. What typology it is going to be? It is going to be mixed use. It is going to be used as a residence and a studio. What function? Live, work and exhibit. Hold small events. Spaces. Studio spaces, exhibition space, multi-event hall, living areas, bedroom, etc. Scale. Small. User. Artist and his potter wife. Structure. It need to be identified. Timeline. Mix of modern and contemporary. Climate. Moderate. Site, odd shaped site. Materials. Since they live a very sustainable life, let's go for locally available materials and eco-friendly materials. After all the introspection and search, there were four case studies matching to my design brief, requirements and criteria. That means keywords. Two were live and other two were book case studies or literature case studies. First one, a weekend house irrespective of the user. The reason I picked this up is because I wanted to understand how were the spaces designed for a weekend house. Certain elements of house which were common to all of us. An artist residence. The reason to pick this one is because to understand how the artist is different from the rest of the people. To understand his unique requirements, their taste, certain extent to understand their psychology also. Rest two were book case studies, which featured my most challenging aspect, like how to overcome plot complexities. The zoning aspect and circulation pattern understanding was very well translated in these case studies. Since my brief said clearly the couple believed in concept of sustainability and eco-friendly architecture, I chose a sustainable house as my case study to understand the technical aspects of the sustainable architecture. Let's move to the second example. Healthcare clinic. Design brief and design program. Design brief. Design a healthcare clinic for 50 patients in a congested city. This plot is located on a busy road with lot of air and noise pollution and traffic. Design program. Consultation rooms, 20-bed hall, waiting and reception area, surgery room, pathology labs, radiology, and 10-bed ICU. Healthcare clinic, along with a design program. After applying the formula of design brief and design program, we have our quick fact check list and which will give us the keywords. Let's read those quick fact checks. Typology, of course, it's a healthcare clinic. Function, healthcare and consultation. Spaces, surgery rooms, consultation rooms, something which is similar to our design program. Scale, it's going to be medium scale. User, doctors, patients, nurses and other allied staff and visitors. Structure to be identified. Timeline, contemporary. Climate, hot and humid. Site, congested site with traffic and air and noise pollution. Materials, we need to identify. After all the introspection and search, there were three case studies that matched to my design brief, requirements and criteria. One is Live, a medium-sized healthcare clinic. This will give us insights of the mandatory requirements that are need to be incorporated into the clinic. Pathology labs and X-ray labs. For technical knowledge, understanding the sizes and working of the machines, to understand flow of activities and other technical aspects. Book. How to protect the building from traffic and pollution. Strategies and systems that need to be incorporated into the building. Now let's consider the third example of resort, the design brief. Design a 20-room resort which will add to the tourism of the scenic place, which includes hills and forest. The site is vast and spread across n number of acres of land with green trees and natural water body. The design program: reception lobby, 10 deluxe room, 5 suite, 5 villas, spa and massage areas, swimming pool, restaurant and cafe, lounge and bar, allied services, landscape spaces, gym, club and many other activity areas. After applying the formula of design brief and design program, we have our quick fact check list, which will give us keywords. Typology: what will be the typology of the resort? It will be hospitality resort, a spread plan through a forest nature. Function: weekend getaway, relax. Spaces and areas, again as similar to your design program, which will include reception lobbies, suite rooms, villas, etc., etc., etc. Scale will be a large scale project with lot of planning, a lot of application of services and lot of complexities. User: families, kids, youngsters, couples, groups, etc. Structure needs to be identified. Timeline: classical, spread across lush landscape. Climate: cool and pleasant. Site: contours with natural flora and fauna. This gives us a chance to have more outdoor activity spaces, lot of outdoor landscape spaces for interaction and relaxation. And we need to create vistas and natural views. Materials: they need to be identified. After all the introspection and search, there were 3 case studies that were matched to my design brief, requirements and criteria. First one is how we can getaways with similar requirements. What are the things that were kept in mind to satisfy the customer? How to make sure the customer enjoys the holiday? What are the leisure spaces and such other aspects of luxury and leisure? What is the mindset of the customer when he enters a resort? Second one is design of a restaurant and lounges in this city. The reason I picked up this because a lot of my guests were going to come from nearby small cities and big cities. To satisfy these city birds, I need to have certain activities which will be popular among the city young crowd. Themes which can be incorporated: design of services, also to understand the design of services, areas of kitchen and flow of activities. The third one is going to be high-end resorts in other countries irrespective of the climate. This is to understand how the hospitality industry works, how luxury resort pamper their customer and what elements can be incorporated into a design so that it can reach to an upper level or high-end resort. The fourth one is high-end resorts on the hills, how to tackle climatic aspects and contours, also to how to create vistas and views with natural flora and fauna.